ambition. It couldn't be clearer. That's the word. And look, Spurs are going to do it. Spurs are going to do it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to say it right there. As soon as that game finished, I started contacting every single person I could get anything from within that club. Anyone that has anything to do with the club. And everything came back with a singular kind of response. They're going to back him. They are going to back Antonio Conte. They are. They know. You know, you've heard me say this enough times. This is the crossroads summer. This is a what do you do next? Do you slip back down or do you march forward? They are marching forward firm. They're going to give him their full backing in the transfer window in the summer. And not only that, they're going to let him lead it. They're going to let him and Paratici lead what they want to do. And I think that's crucial as well. You know, we've seen moments before where Spurs make do on transfers. They go for a different option. They'll do whatever. Look, we know there are times in transfers where you just cannot get a deal done. Let's take Luis Diaz, for example. Luis Diaz just wanted to go to Liverpool. There's nothing you can do about that. But there are moments in Tottenham's past where they've chosen player B instead of player A, when if they'd just gone for A, it would have made that difference. And from what I understand, Spurs are going to be looking at that player A. That's what they're going to do. If Conte wants them, they will do everything within their power to get him. And that is crucial because that's what Conte wants to hear in this meeting. You know, Paratici wants to assemble a squad that can challenge at the very top for Tottenham. And that's what Conte wants. Conte said it repeatedly. He just wants to be able to feel that the club has the possibility to win a title. Look, we've all got to be realistic. At the moment, Liverpool, Man City are light years ahead of everyone. But Spurs need to begin. Conte said this about Klopp, you know. He said, if you asked me whether I want what happened with Klopp, with the years of building towards knowing what you were going to get, I'd have signed up immediately. And that's what Spurs need to make it clear to him. We're building towards that. We are going to build a team that will allow you to challenge properly. Because it's, you know, you look at it and Conte only, was it January, was saying that there's an important gap between Tottenham and Chelsea. Tottenham ended up finishing just 3 points behind Chelsea. It's incredible, honestly. You think about what was one of those matches had they won, like, you know, the Brighton game. Like they got a goal rather than letting Brighton score one. They would have been there. It could have been anything. It could have been anything, you know. And I just find that incredible that even that important gap had kind of almost disappeared by the end of the season. Admittedly, Chelsea took their foot off the gas a bit and they had other distractions, but still, if Conte can do that with what he had, which is essentially 2 signings, think what he could do with a pre-season and a squad tailored towards him. Oh, it's so exciting. And the fact that every voice I'm hearing, and these aren't people that... this isn't any like press briefing thing. This isn't people that have an interest in putting out such a message. Because there's no reason to do that. Because Conte is going to go into a meeting, isn't he? In a few days' time. And if that meeting is completely different, then what was the point of saying publicly that they're backing it? It makes no sense because you know if Conte doesn't hear what he wants to hear, he's going to come out and there will be very quickly interviews in the Italian media saying that. So it's not something, it's not a situation that anyone can, let's say, manipulate. And certainly a lot of these different people that I was asking, they're not people that have any interest in doing that anyway. That's not how it works. These aren't like PR type people. And I think you'll find that, funnily enough, other people, I did my story last night and I've seen other journalists since have clearly been sourcing their various contacts and similar stories are coming out. Tottenham are going to back Antonio Conte. Hopefully this isn't one of these where you see me nearly in tears on September the 1st or whenever after the transfer window goes, it didn't back him. But that's what everyone's saying. And also there's a desire to get kind of new faces through the door earlier in time for him to take them on pre-season to the tour to Korea, Rangers, Israel, and that's crucial because it's such a grueling pre-season as we know. It's going to be crucial really for the way things work out. Also, going to be a departure from the whole we'll only sign young players policy. If there is an older player that Conte feels is the perfect fit for what he wants, Spurs will go for that player. They will. Don't get me wrong, there will be instances like Bentancur is a perfect example. That is an experienced player. He is an experienced player who is also 24. So he ticks both boxes, and there will be moments when they will make decisions like that. But ultimately, from everything I understand, Conte will be told in this meeting, he will get 100% guarantees of what he wants is going to happen. And that is huge. That is huge because, I'm going to read you some quotes later. He was still a bit ambiguous when he spoke, a little bit after the game. But everything I'm hearing is that in this meeting, he's going to get guarantees that what he wants is going to happen. And that's huge. So let's talk about the £150 million as well. I heard about that literally not long before it was about to be announced. I was trying to dig around and it was like, oh, here we go, it's been announced anyway. But itself, what it is, it's quite fascinating kind of if you break it down as well. It's one of those where, look, at the end of the day, it's brilliant news for Spurs fans. It's fantastic news for Spurs fans. It's a great PR move as well for the club. It looks great. It looks great to everyone concerned. I think there is also an element, from what I've been told by people far more financially intelligent than I am, that it's quite a clever move from ENIC as well, and we'll get to that in a moment. But the main thing is, key headline stuff for us, that's all we should really care about, the fans and myself reporting on it all, is that the bulk of that £150 million is going to go towards the summer transfer war chest. I know it said in the statement, which I'm going to read out so we have all the technical stuff, I know it said it will go towards on-pitch and off-pitch stuff, I think it said. But I'm told the bulk of that, pretty much all of it, is going on transfers. So yeah, like I said earlier, you mix that in with funds from selling players, you mix that in with Champions League revenue, Spurs will be able to go out there and make a real difference to the squad this summer. Right, so that's all brilliant. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about the figures and all that sort of stuff. Essentially, bottom line for Tottenham, in the medium term, the club has a lot more money to spend. A lot more money to spend. And like I say, it's all going on that transfer window, which is huge. Obviously, they've spent fair amounts before, summer of 2019. It's about getting it right this summer. That's going to be the crucial part now the money's there. So the money itself, from what we understand, it sounds like ENIC have kind of taken a loan of sorts to be able to do this. It's not, I've seen jokes about Joe Lewis has sold one of his paintings or whatever. No, that it appears to be that this is money that's been raised through kind of finance. But obviously, how do I put this? It's not the club that's liable for that. That's ENIC. That's ENIC's responsibility. That's their thing to pay off, whatever. The reason I said before it is quite clever is that some, like I say, financially intelligent people, far, far, far cleverer than I, have said that in a way, I've used this expression a lot, that Spurs and Daniel Levy have to speculate to accumulate. That's pretty much exactly what they've done here. So by doing this, and this whole exercise, which is quite complex, I'm not going to be able to go into it because I'll probably mess up the actual explanation of it, but the whole idea of this money and the shares involvement and the increase in ownership that would come from it, essentially, from what I've told by, like I say, financial types, if it were to come to pass that, let's say, ENIC sold the club within, however a certain amount of time, then the amount of extra shares that they're likely to get, percentage control of the club, will far exceed the £150 million. I think someone told me that it potentially could get double that back with that extra little bit of percentage. So it's a clever thing, These aren't people that just make crazy, let's throw money at this decisions. But actually, in a business sense, it makes sense for them if they were to sell. And I also think in a business sense, giving money to a man who clearly knows what to do with a football club that is well assembled and well, financed, you're also raising the value of your own stock. So it's all this kind of circle that, I don't know why my circle is going in different directions, but my circle, it all kind of feeds itself. And ultimately, it's a logical investment, I think is probably the best way to put it. So yeah. It's some people have asked me, did they need to announce this like this grandly and publicly? Because of, you know, the fear is that other clubs look at that and go, well, you got loads of money. He's double that cost. I think they had to put out some kind of announcement. I don't think it had to be so grand. I think it maybe could have been hidden away somewhere. But I think doing so probably is more positive than it brings negative things. It's a very public statement to say, Antonio, we've got your back. And it kind of puts the ball back into his side of the court. So essentially now, he's got everything in place for him to do what he wants to do at Tottenham next season. And then if he still decides to walk away, it kind of then starts to reflect on him more than anything.